What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a new daily news show. And I want to say it's a surprising one, but it's actually not a surprising one because Milik has renewed his deal with an extra season, and it's the usual stuff you will think, and it is the usual stuff where we add another year to his contract or to a player's contract, especially a player we don't want, and we'll try to move on. And it all makes sense in theory. You add an extra year, you spread the wages, literally, you cut it in half basically. On the books, it looks better. It makes it easier to loan out a player or to move out a player. But in reality, it's not easier for the club because every time we do this, we fail to move on the players because the players in questions are that bad. I think about it, Arthur, for example. Milik in this case, about being not good enough. He's been injured for a year almost. It's almost a year for the most standard of things. He didn't tore his ACL. He didn't break a bone on 7 different places or something ridiculous than that. He's just injured and he's not coming back. But when I say we, Juntili decided we're going to spread the wages, so maybe, hopefully, we can move you on. And usually I'm on the side of, I get it, financially, and still in theory, I get it. In theory, it makes a lot of sense in theory. Let's be honest, it makes a lot of sense. But theory does not apply to this club. The past, or what happened in the past, should be applying to this club. And for some reason, we are, and when I say we again, Juntili is looking back at what happened in the past with this club and these type of deals and see that it's been failing. And he's like, I'm going to do it again. So that's what we're going to talk about. And also another piece of news, But before we get into it, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about why this is horrendous again. Okay, so like I said in the intro, usually I get it. I'm like, it's smart and so on, so on. However, Milik is not a good player. He's just not. He's a backup at best, and he's a backup who has been injured for a year. So my thing is when this news came out, I'm like, okay, one, how are you gonna move him out? That's one, because in an ideal situation, let's say Milik wasn't injured for a season, who is buying Milik when he's on that wages? So that's one. Two, it's like, even if you have the wages right now, he's been injured for the year. Who is gonna buy an injured player who's still on 1.7 million euros? And he needs to go, yeah, I want to go to that club as well. The deal is ridiculous. It's bad. It's bad because in theory, again, fantastic, but the facts have shown in the past already, and not so long past as well. Juntili's been dealing with this shit with Arthur. And he's like, let me give it another go. If you were a serious club, you sit down Milik and you're like, buddy, it's been a season. Let's just rip up this contract and you can go on a free. We are not going to make money on Milik. You should be a serious club and sit down Milik and say, come on, buddy, for your own career as well, we will let you walk. We just rip up this contract and go. The money we will try to recoup from this situation is not worth the trouble. That's what I'm trying to say. We tried that with Arthur and it took until the last... No, it didn't. Like, he stayed. The window closed, and it's like, you know what? Maybe he's going to go to the Turkish league because they were still open. The transfer market was still open for the first week of September. That didn't happen. He was just chilling in Torino for months until the January transfer window opened, and he can go out on loan. I don't even know where he went. Was it Girona? Probably Girona. I'm not even sure. That literally happened a couple of months ago, and Juntili is like, let me try that again. No, the work again between us. Just let's come to an agreement that we terminate this deal, and you can leave on a free. Maybe get a signing bonus here and there, and you recoup what you're probably gonna lose. I don't think Milik is a bad guy. I think Milik really wants to play. I don't think he's there sitting. I'm done with my career. Let me collect the money. I don't think he's that type of player. Based on previous statements. But come on, like how many times are we gonna do that with this club? Renew a contract so we can loan them out, spread the things, and maybe seduce a team to take crap off our hands. Let's be honest. Like everybody knows. No, we don't want him. Like everybody knows. So what the hell do you think you're gonna achieve by doing this? And usually I'm the level-headed one in these situations. Even with Arthur, I'm like, fine. Who the hell is gonna buy him? But Arthur had a much longer deal when we tried to do that, and his wages were like 6 million euros. So in that case, I'm like, it's worth a shot. But now it's not worth a shot with Arthur. Get him out, terminate the contract, get rid. It's not worth the trouble. Same goes for Milik. It's not worth the trouble. And we have just added more trouble on our plate. Juntly added more trouble on his plate for the summer, and we're already in trouble, and we already have a lot of work, and we have a lot of stuff we still need to do. And here we are, and Milik is still at the club for some crazy reason. And it's unbelievable. There'll probably be a few people saying, hey, maybe he can stay fit and he can be the backup. I'm like, oh my God. I thought I was making that up in my head, but I actually saw people saying, oh, but if he's fit, why not? But cheap backup 1.7. It makes me want to puke when I read that stuff. Like, come on, have some standards for this club. And for me, again, Jesus Christ. It's depressing. Even for a person who actually was on the opposite side of these deals. And I was battling people. I'm like, yeah, but the wages are too high for Arthur. Like, who the hell is going to do that? Now it's with him. And I'm like, no. It's been a year. Just leave. Gone. Terminate it. Move him on. Forget about it. Anyways, that's the situation of the club. The fact that if we were in a good situation and this happened, nobody would stress, obviously. We will talk about it, but it's like, yeah, we move on. We figure this out. But we're in such a bad situation that it's just more added headache going into the summer. During the summer transfer window, it's like, oh yeah, snap. We still need to move on Milik. We still need to figure out what we're doing with Milik. Like all these things just, come to mind when I see these things. And I'm like, oh man, here we go again. But anyways, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you understand the deal? Which I do understand. However, do you agree that we will give it another shot when we fail doing it in the past? Or are you one of those people saying, hey, actually, he's on the cheap, maybe you stay to be the backup to whoever is going to be the main guy? Let me know in the comments, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. Ciao.